So for those of you who are serious about making money, you clicked on the right video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. The stock market is currently setting up for a phenomenal move to be trading both ways. I'm going to be walking you through the best level of interest where I'm planning to buy put options to potentially top tick the SPY to buy these puts at the exact lows to short the SPY towards the exact top. I'm also going to be breaking down to you the best levels where I'm planning to buy the dip on call options for the SPY. I'm going to be showing you how I'm planning to trade the rest of this week both ways on the SPY. Then towards the end of this video, I'm going to be breaking down the overall trades that we ended up making during the power hour trading session. We had a 300% gainer on SPX within the span of just 3 minutes. I'm going to be breaking down the trades towards the end of this video. Let's get straight into the analysis. So in terms of the SPY, this is what I want you to understand. There is a level of interest that I have for put options, and it has to do with the 30-minute chart. So I'm going to be breaking this down here for you. So in terms of what I'm looking at here on an opportunity for puts, and this would be the best situation if the SPY gapped up. This play would be so much better if the SPY were to gap up, opening up higher than 597.19. So my only level of interest to be buying put options as of now, especially if the SPY gaps up, is going to be right here at the $600 level. The reasoning behind this level is, as you can see in the pre-market, we have a lot of resistance at these new all-time highs. I did bring awareness in terms of earlier this week explaining to you how the SPY would likely drop at that nice keyhole round $600 number. Now, in terms of the overall strategy on why I think it's going to be a good opportunity to buy puts once it tests this level, especially if the SPY gaps up, that would make the confirmation stronger because it would just be very likely to work as a confirmation where if the SPY were to gap up, it starts to drop back down to fill the gap below, then it starts to reverse at that gap at 597.19 if this were to play out that way. So in terms of the strategy, man, this would be the play. As you can see right here in the 30-minute chart, you have support at $600. And then the SPY sells off. So it had this breakdown of support. Once it goes back up to retest that previous support for the first time, it's likely going to react bearish and drop first. Meaning once those $600 puts start to go out of the money, they're likely going to go back in the money. So with that being said, the overall strategy would be the breakdown and retest where the SPY breaks down below a support level. And then once it spikes back up for the first time, is likely going to form lower highs and reject first, especially since we're at these new all-time highs. So in terms of the first time the SPY starts to spike back up to $600, it's likely going to reject first. I would encourage you to use a bearish 30-minute candlestick confirmation or a trend reversal 30-minute candlestick confirmation towards that level. That is really the only level that I have for put options. And in terms of what would make that a better trade is if we had another potential strategy. So in terms of the other potential strategy, what would make this a better trade in my opinion is if the SPY gapped up, it would be more overbought. And instead of having a gap and go, it would likely be a situation where once it gaps up and then once it hits this level, it starts to reverse to come back down to fill the gap below, making it a potential strategy where the SPY gaps up. Instead of it being a gap and go, it forms lower highs at this level. Then it starts to drop back down to fill the gap fill trading strategy that I've created, right? So if it were to gap up, in my opinion, it would automatically make this a much better idea, especially in terms of the daily chart pattern. I went back throughout the daily chart on the SPY, and I've noticed in terms of how it normally reacts when it forms this overall pattern on the daily chart. And what it's telling me is the best play for puts would be if the SPY gaps up for an opportunity to short the SPY and buy put options at that $600 mark. That is going to be the only recommendation as of now in terms of puts. Now, let's discuss in terms of where we are at in terms of the other levels, right? So breaking down the other levels on the chart right here, I need you to stay focused on buying call options towards the oversold support levels. That is what's going to be playing out best for calls, is to be going with the lower oversold levels. So in terms of where we are at, we are basically in the middle of an overall channel. So I want you to think of the short-term top of the channel at that $600 mark. The overall middle of the channel is going to be 597. So as you can see right here, this is going to be your make or break gap level. A big move is going to be occurring at the 597 overall range, right? So 597, this is going to be the make or break middle level. If the SPY gaps up, it's going to be a strong level of interest to potentially scalp call options. But I would encourage you to use a strong bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmation or a trend reversal 30-minute candlestick confirmation at that overall level. You got to be careful because this isn't 100% the best level on call options, but another trend that's been working throughout the past 40 days nonstop is the gap reversal trading strategy. So if we are gapping up, you can look to play puts at 600 and you can look to potentially play calls at 597, but use the best confirmation. Now, if we're not really doing much and we're just kind of opening up flat or even gap down, this is what I would want you to focus on, man. I'd want you to focus on buying call options towards these oversold levels, right? So based on how this pattern looks like, take a look at this. You have this move to the upside, you have this move to the upside. Then it starts to drop slanted to the right side, then it starts to drop slanted to the right side. Then this big pullback comes very, very quickly and it recovers. So in terms of the best situation that I'm seeing for calls would be a big, quick pullback, whether that's in the pre-market or towards market open to the middle of the day heading into tomorrow to potentially buy calls in that situation. So in terms of the oversold levels where you should be showing interest in buying call options, and again, getting at the exact bottom is going to be a bit of a challenge. So make sure you're using 30-minute candlestick confirmations, right? But in terms of the levels that I have for you, is going to be the following, man. We have very, very strong support towards slightly under the previous day lows. This would be an amazing level to be buying call options heading into this week. 594.30. You can keep an eye on 595, but I'm telling you that 594.30 level, based off of what I'm seeing on the daily chart, man, is going to be a great level to try to buy call options at that 594.30 level, right? So keep an eye on 594.30, keep an eye on 593.90 zone. That's going to be the main zone to buy call options. Now, in terms of the lower zones, it's very unlikely that we fill the gap this week at 591, but if the SPY does fill that gap, that's going to be the best level to buy call options. And I would consider that an automation level where you can just buy and get in for a gap reversal. It's extremely oversold. Now, in terms of your next best level for calls, it would be at 593. So based off of what I'm seeing, 594.30 is likely going to be the overall best level, and 593 is a great level as well. Those are the main levels that I want you to be focusing on buying those call options towards the oversold levels, right? Now, in terms of the 597 level, if it reacts bearish, we're going to the 594s, and it's going to start to bounce at the oversold levels, very likely. If it reacts bullish, we will be trending up to the 599 to 600 and to 630 zone, and the 630 zone is the only recommendation that I have for puts, right? If the SPY's reacting bearish, at 597, you can try puts. It's not the best level. So understand that. And also it's not too far away from those oversold levels where the market is likely going to bounce in reverse. So just understand you're likely betting against the overall trend, but it can work if you get in and out, but you got to use very strong confirmations. If you're not trading at the best levels, use the strongest confirmations, be extremely patient with the overall chart, right? Another thing you can use in terms of, the situation where we're at these oversold levels, if you're seeing the bullish 30-minute patterns forming, look for the SPY to just break above resistance levels. And then once it drops back down, buy the retest, the breakout and overall retest strategy, right? So that's the game plan. Very, very simple. And that's what I have for you. Now, in terms of the trades that we ended up making on the day, I'm going to be breaking that down to you, right? I'm telling you, if you use this game plan and you use the 30-minute candlestick confirmations that I've been teaching you, everything I've been teaching you on this overall channel, right? If you've been trading the way it is, how I trade, exactly how I teach you, you should be doing phenomenal at these levels. I'm telling you, this game plan, this is like the best game plan that I've seen so far throughout the entire week. So make sure you use this, man. This is going to be a money-making gem, especially if you're playing calls towards the oversold levels and then the puts towards that overbought level. And the 597, that's make or break. That's going to be the challenge level, right? Use strong confirmations, especially if you're not trading at the overall best levels. I gave you the best levels, right? So with that being said, in terms of the situation on the trades, right? Let's get straight into this, man. And I know I already broke this down, but I just want to show you how it looks on an extended hours chart. To me, it looks like something like this can play out. You have this move to the upside. You have this move to the upside right here. You have this move to the upside. Then you have a drop. Then you have a drop. And then you have a big quick drop. And the big quick drop has not hit yet. And then it starts to bottom at key support, which would be at 594 to 594.30. That is very likely to play out if 597 reacts bearish to buy those calls at 594. And then another situation that I'm seeing, if the SPY gaps up, look for the puts at 600. I'm fucking telling you, man, this game plan is money. There is no excuses to be red, and losing should be a personal choice if you use this money-making game plan. It works, but you got to be patient and you got to be disciplined enough to trade at the overall best levels and use the proper confirmations instead of just jumping in right away, right? So use what I'm teaching you, stack everything it is that you know, and learn from me within your overall favor. Now, in terms of the situation on the trades, let's get straight into this. So in terms of the trades that we ended up making on the day, I'm going to break this down here for you, right? So as you can see, we ended up buying 599 SPY calls for 56 cents a contract, and that overall trade did not work out. But in terms of the next trade, this was a phenomenal trade. 9:36 a.m., we ended up buying 217.50 Amazon calls for 38 cents a contract, right? So with that being said, that overall trade went from 38 cents, as you can see right here. This is where we ended up getting in on that trade at 38 cents a contract, and it quickly went up to 106 cents a contract, right? So that overall trade nearly went up, 200% profit return at the speed of fucking light. So that was a phenomenal potential trade that you could have made on the overall day. Now, in terms of the next win, let's get into this, man. We ended up buying 598 SPY calls for 55 cents a contract at 9:58 a.m. So if we go to 598 SPY calls, you're going to see right here, this is where we ended up getting in towards the exact lows. And those calls went all the way up to 140 cents a contract, right? So we're talking again, another nearly 200% profit return. And then in terms of the power hour trading session, this was absolutely phenomenal. At 3:57 p.m., we ended up buying 5985 SPX calls for 100 cents a contract, man. So these SPX calls were only 100 cents a contract. As you can see right here, this is where we ended up getting in on that overall trade right here, a minute after it bottomed. It bottomed at 20 cents. We got in right after it bottomed, and it quickly went, as you could see, to 20 cents all the way to 400 a contract, right? So if you got on that 1 minute candle, you would have been in a potential trade that could have yielded you a 300% plus profit return in 3 minutes. And we got in towards the exact lows. Make sure that you are using a broker that is designed for this style of trading and that allows you to trade SPX, right? Because in terms of this situation, you're going to see these SPX calls that were out of the money went from 20 cents to 400 a contract. Do you understand? They literally went up. They went up multiple 100% profit returns at the speed of fucking light. We're talking 20 cents to fucking $4 a contract, man. We're talking like 2,000% profit, potential profit. It's fucking crazy how much these calls went up, right? We're talking like fucking 20x there. So with that being said, in that overall trade, you could have potentially made 20x depending on where you got in at that overall 1 minute candle, right? We're talking about 2,000% potential profit return in just 3 minutes, right? So make sure you're using a broker that allows you to trade SPX because as you can see, there's a massive difference. I ended up alerting SPY calls shortly after that because I saw another great opportunity to buy the dip as well. We got in on both trades, and I'm going to walk you through this one. So in terms of my own personal trading, let me break this down here for you. As you can see, I ended up getting in on these 598 SPY calls for 47 cents a contract. As soon as I got in at 47 cents a contract, you're going to see at 2:20 p.m. 598 calls. So if we go to 598 calls and we go to 2:20 p.m., you're going to see as soon as I got in on these calls, this is 2:20 p.m., I got in at the exact lows. And these calls literally went from 44 cents all the way to 75 cents in 2 single minutes. They went up literally like 100% profit return. And then in terms of the power hour trading session, man, let me break this down. So I showed you the SPX play. That was at 3:57 p.m. A minute later, I saw a great opportunity that was a no-brainer to buy SPY calls, so we got in on both. But this just goes to show you, man, I'm telling you, you need to focus on SPX because it's always going to yield you the biggest percentage gains during the power hour trading session. But if you're seeing another trade at a different time on SPY and it makes sense, then you could take that one too. It counts as 2 wins in this situation. So at 3:58 p.m., I ended up buying SPY 597 calls at 20 cents a contract. A minute later, they went up 100%. Do you understand? 2 years ago, I was buying in the money options. I would get in and out very, very quickly, and I would make a couple percent returns. And I had to take very large position sizes and use stop losses in order to make good gains. Now I'm at the highest level of trading. This is the top tier. This is the top echelon. It does not get better than this in terms of trading options, in terms of trading with real money. It does not get better than this. Now I'm making a 100% return in 1 single minute. We're outperforming entire groups within a span of minutes, trading SPY and SPX during the power hour trading session. And this is more cheap and more low risk barrier to entry, right? And it's got the highest risk reward in the market, right? So this is the best type of trading style that you can master within the market. It is extremely hard to get to this level of trade. It took over 10 years. But anyways, in terms of 3:58 p.m., if we go to 597 calls, you're going to see right here, I ended up buying these calls at the exact lows a minute after we took those SPX puts. I ended up buying these calls at the exact lows, and as you can see, they went from 20 cents all the way to 44 cents in the span of minutes, man. So that was a phenomenal trade. Like I said, man, if you got in on that one, it was an instant 80% gain, just like the trade before that. It's crazy. As soon as I got in these trades, in just 2 singular fucking minutes, they went up 50 to 100%, man. So those were the main overall plays on the day. Now, for those of you who are serious about printing money with us and you'd like to join our group, it's the first link down below in the description. I do got to give a big shout out and credit to where credit is due. Uncle Tio, he's been on a fucking tear, man. Keaton Win, Forbes 30 under 30. This guy has been on a crazy fucking win streak throughout the past 2 months, man. It's just nonstop fucking winning over here. I'm going to show you in terms of his latest trade. He ended up doing swing trades, man. Not only is he day trading now he's learned swing trades. I'm going to break this down here for you, man. I'm going to show you his latest swing trades, man. He had 2 phenomenal swing trades that he alerted in the chat, man. This is why it's important to always be monitoring the chat, man, because I'm telling you, we are calling out multiple 100% profit returns, and we got 2 multimillionaires in here that are learning everything it is that they're doing in real time. So anyways, in terms of the overall trade, it was on Coinbase, man. This was such a fucking phenomenal trading opportunity, man. I'm gonna show this to you. I'm gonna break this down here for you, man. Look at this. On 11/11, you understand? 11/11, man. 11/11. Tesla in Coinbase puts her free money for the week. 1 month out, expiration. The price target is 300 for Tesla, 280 for Coinbase. 2 days fucking later, they both collapsed. The puts went up 30, 40, 50% plus profit returns, man. This was a phenomenal swing trading opportunity. He called it all out in real time, man. So for those of you who are serious about trading alongside with us, what we are known for doing is buying cheap, low risk, far out of the money option contracts. We're known for holding for longer periods of time, and we're known for selling deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains within the market. And we have the highest win rate in the game doing this. So with that being said, in terms of the trading alert system that we've created and what we do differently as well is not only are we buying far the money option contracts, but in terms of your position size, they are so cheap, they are so low risk that you can put in your entire position size as your max risk per trade. Meaning, if the options go to 0 and expire worthless, the most you lose is what you put in, which could be your max risk per trade, because they're so cheap and they're so low risk. And if you're not risking a lot, the way you're able to make good gains is because we're making the biggest percentage gains within the market. We are able to outperform people who are making smaller percentage gains, taking bigger position sizes, not holding for bigger wins, because the percentage gains are so fucking massive, man. I'm telling you, in terms of trading, the toughest part is when to sell. But the entries on our fucking trades are unfucking believable, man. We are getting the best entries possible on these trades. And if you're getting the best entries on far out of the money option contracts and you hold them, we are talking unlimited upside potential where you could be making thousands of % returns on certain trades. So for those of you who are serious about trading alongside with us, you should also know we use profit stops. When we are green on a trade, we set a profit stop to ensure that we do not go green to red on an overall trade. If you are up on a trade and you set a profit stop, it is impossible to go green to red. And another thing we do with our profit stops is we are known for moving the profit stop higher to ensure if the market has a big move against our trade, that we get stopped out for the bulk of our profits instead of giving back the vast majority of our profits, right? So for those of you who are serious about trading with a group who has mastered zero-day options trading, and we are known for buying cheap, far the money option contracts, very low risk, right? It's going to be the first link down below within the description. We are the greatest in the game in terms of doing this trading style. We also have members, some of them, they trade with prop firms, and when we take calls, they go long, right? So some of the members, they trade with prop firms. Not everyone trades options. They use our overall trade signals as directions in a sense, right? But I'm telling you, man, if you're serious about trading alongside with us, and another cutting edge part of far the money options is the beauty of options is they give you options, right? That's why everyone loves to trade options, because they give you options within the market. Now, far the money options give you the most options within the market, and some of the reasons behind that is we have the entire day for these out of money option contracts to go in the money. And in my experience, when these contracts drop 50% and we're not using stop losses, we either choose to just sell and cut the loss, or we just hold the fucking trade, right? And in terms of when we decide to hold the trade, that's what we call a dead play. And 70% of the time when we choose to hold a dead play that's down 50%, it comes back to life and it goes in the money and we sell for overall profits. So with this overall trading strategy, man, it's like if we're not getting in at the overall best entry, the dead plays tend to come back to life and go in the money anyways. We have the entire day to hold these overall trades, and we tend to be on the right side of the overall trend, man. So with that being said, if you're serious about trading alongside with us, you're going to notice many cutting edge strategies with this unique trade alert system that we've created, man. And like I said, the toughest part about trading is the sell. It truly is the exit. We do the best to our ability in terms of, telling you when to trim, when to scale out, when to exit, when to set profit stops. But you do have to take some accountability for your own trading. And you do have to decide on exactly where it is that you want to sell, along with when it makes sense to leave runners to run, right? So with that being said, we do the absolute best that we can do for you guys, but you do have to take some accountability in terms of your own hands on exactly where to sell the overall trades. But you're going to see we have the best entries in the game, and the trades that we're entering are the overall directions within the overall market, man. And even if we're rolling on a trade, the next trade will be in the right direction. It can go up 200%, man. It's just a simple game of math, man. If one of the trades doesn't work out and we lose 50%, the next one works out and we're up 100%. That's a phenomenal risk to return ratio. And there's certain trades where we make 300%, 500%. We had a 300% gain, or we made 300% on SPX. If you make 300%, that means you can lose 50% losses in a row and you'll still be overall green. Or you can lose, 300% losses in a row and you'll still be overall green, basically, right? But anyways, you get the point. So if you're serious about trading alongside with us, and if you're serious about making money, it's going to be the first link down below within the description. I can assure you, we have many members who are making $500 a day. We have some members who are making, over $1,000 a day. We have members who are making 5 figures a week. We have one member who's making over 6 figures a month trading options, man. So I'm telling you, if you're serious about trading alongside with us, we have a phenomenal community, and we have many members who are absolutely crushing it, man. I see every day some of the same people are making $500, $1,000 within the overall group. So if you are serious about trading alongside with us and experiencing a new trading style and a new trading alert system, I'm telling you, man, this is going to take time to adjust. You got to understand, this is going to take time to adjust. This is a completely different style. We're known for buying far the money option contracts. We're known for holding longer periods of time. If you want to make good money on a trade, well, you got to buy something that's cheap. You got to buy something that, if you want to make good money on a trade that's extremely low risk, you got to buy something that's cheap. You got to buy something that's low risk. You got to hold it further in the money, and you got to make big percentage gains. That's the main way to do it, man. Most people are doing it wrong. Most people are buying something that's more expensive, and they're taking bigger position sizes, and they don't hold the trade. One of the reasons why they don't hold the trade is because they don't know how to win big. They don't know how to hold the trade. They were taught to win small. They were taught small wins add up. Another reason why is they use a tight stop loss. If you use a tight stop loss, you will never be able to win big, even if you try to. You will always get stopped out, or your position size will always be too big where you're scared to hold and you're trading yourself to win small and regardless. So if you did win big, it's just pure fucking luck on timing in a sense. So just be aware of that, man, because over here, we teach people how to win fucking big, and we actually hold our trades for longer periods of time, and we actually know how to time our trades properly. Not that in certain cases that we 100% even need to, because we have the entire day for the contracts to go in the money, and we're usually on the overall right side of the trend, and the first trade isn't, the next one is, and that one can go up multiple 100% profit returns. So this is a numbers game. This is a percentage game, and that's what we're turning trading into. We are turning trading into a percentage gain. That's what we're turning this shit into. We're turning trading into a percentage game. If you are following people who are not talking in percentages, that means that they're not making percentage gains. If you're not making big percentage gains, that means that you're making small percentage gains, which means the only way you're going to make money is if you're extremely consistent, you have an extremely high win rate, making it tougher to make money, And also, they're going to have to experience many losses on getting stopped out, and they're never going to experience any big wins. It's extremely tough and challenging, especially for small accounts, to go that overall route, man. Look, the best way to trade is to have your overall gains add up by not risking a lot, is to have a system where you could be successful with a very low percentage rate. With this overall system, you can be successful with a 30% win rate. It's possible. We have the highest win rates in the game, but with what we have and what we've optimized for, literally the best trading style you can possibly master, far the money option contracts, 0 dates, right? This overall system, you don't need a high win rate to be successful. This is the best thing you can focus on optimizing for, man. You got to understand, as a trader, you can optimize for mastering anything, right? You can master the chart, you can master the price action, but what asset class do you want to buy? Do you want to buy shares? Do you want to buy in the money option contracts, or do you want to buy out of money option contracts? Me personally, I prefer to put my money into something that is very cheap, that is very low risk, that is the highest risk to reward ratio, that is the biggest percentage gains, that sets you up with a foundation that you can build off of, where when you have a lower win rate, you can still be successful, right? So having a high win rate is the icing on the case, and it just makes perfect sense, man. Look, if you're serious about making money, and if you're serious about experiencing a group that's real, that does this, that has multimillionaires, that are printing non-fucking stop, I can assure you, inside of Team Roar, this is like a money printing ATM machine. It's non-stop winners in here, man. Just non-stop fucking banners, 100% trades, 200% trades, 300% trades. We have days where if you combine all the trades together, it adds up to thousands of percents, man. We have some days where we'll make like 5 to 7 wins in a fucking row, and they'll be like 100% gainers, 200% gainers, power hour, 300% in fucking a minute. Like, do you understand? You can outperform everyone within the market within the span of 3 single minutes on SPX during the power hour trading session. We only trade SPX after 3:30 p.m. We bought this trade literally at the exact lows. They went from 20 cents to $4 a contract. You understand? Fucking 20 cents to $4 a contract. Like, what is that? 2,000 fucking percent, right? Like, there's nowhere else you can do this within the overall market. And that's what we do, man. We put ourselves in positions that are very cheap, that are very low risk, that have high risk to reward ratios, that have the biggest percentage gains within the market, man. Everyone would prefer to pay less. You pay less for contracts, you risk less, you have higher leverage, you have bigger percentage gains. And we also are known for adding to winners. We add to winners because when we're up a small amount, 5, 10, 20%, I know people who are buying in the money options or just don't hold their trades. That's good returns for them. But over here, we're literally adding into our fucking winners because when we win, it's like the biggest percentage gains in the market. It's 100%, 200, 300% plus profit returns, right? So we're doing the complete opposite of what everybody else is doing. And you're going to see inside this group, we're literally doing the complete opposite of what like every other group is doing. We're holding for the bigger wins. We're not using stop losses. We're trading SPX after 3:30 p.m. We're just trading mainly SPY before them. We're only trading 0-day options, man. Look, if you're serious about trying something that works, it's the first link down below in the description. Our format does work for many people. It is not going to work for everyone. That's life. That's trading. This isn't going to work out for everyone, and trading is not for everyone. But if you want to try it out and experience something real, something different that is working for many people, it is the first link down below. Within the description, you could start printing like us at the speed of light, because I can assure you, man, nobody is doing it the way we're doing it, man. If you're in the group, you see the fucking trades. They speak for themselves. The fucking results speak for themselves, man. Like I said, 2 years ago, I wasn't able to do that. I didn't have that skill set 2 years ago where I was able to consistently do this, man. Like, you could just see, man, I wasn't, in terms of buying a 597 call 2 minutes before the market closes at 20 cents, the exact fucking lows. And then a minute later, it goes up 100%. People are saying instant 80% gain on the fucking call out. Nice place. Like, dude, that took me 10 fucking years to figure out. It's different for everyone. For me, that shit took over 10 fucking years to figure out, man. Like I said, we're talking about 100% returns in a single minute. We are outperforming entire groups within a span of minutes because we know how to trade far out of the money option contracts. We know how to trade SPY. We know how to trade SPX. We've mastered this. This is our craft, man. So if you want to see and surround yourself with people who've mastered this overall craft and this unique trading style, it's the first link down below in the description. You can use our alerts as education. I teach the overall strategies. So when I enter a trade, and if you're looking at multiple time frames and you're studying the charts how I teach you, you should have an understanding on some of the trades that I'm making, right? Because you get to see me make it in real time within the chat, right? Everything we do is alerted 100% in real time for you to take advantage of on however you want to take advantage of it. So it could be for educational purposes, so you can start to learn how it is that I trade. It can also be for Confluence. You can use us as a certain confirmation in Confluence for your own trade as a confirmation, right? It could also be to potentially just follow the trade, however you want to use it. But I'm telling you, it's a huge advantage to gain access to the best trades within the market. And I can assure you, you're not going to be able to find any other group out there that has better trades than us, man. Like, who the fuck do you know is printing like us at the speed of fucking light? We're talking nonstop win over here, multiple 100% profit returns, the biggest percentage gains within the market, man. So if you want to see what the highest tier of trading looks like, if you want to see what the best looks like, I can assure you, man, this is A-list. We have multi-millionaires within this overall group, man. And that's who I fuck with. I fuck with the multimillionaires, man. I fuck with the A-list. And if you want to surround yourself with them, is the first link down below within the description, man. I only hire the best, and I can assure you in terms of the group that we have within this overall program, the first link down below in the description, I can assure you, man, this is the absolute best. So with that being said, man, it's the first link down below in the description if you want to experience this overall trade system. And I'm going to be signing off. I will see you guys tomorrow within the overall chat.